You know, I love metaphors, particularly visual metaphors, and here is the perfect one. 5 friendly and very helpful coal miners had to help an electric vehicle that was stranded in the middle of nowhere with nothing left in the battery, so they had to push it all the way to the coal mine where they were able to charge it. Yes, 5 coal miners pushing a battery car to the coal mine to charge it up. What a perfect metaphor for the crazy world we live in. Look closely, you can even see the coal stockpile there in the background. Yes, you see, coal is what, in the end, we all have to rely on, whether you like it or not. How idiotic are we in this country? Are we not capable of looking around the rest of the planet and seeing what is going on with energy thanks to 3 decades of climate change, alarmism, and green activism? In the absence of nuclear energy, it is coal, and only coal, that ultimately keeps this nation of ours afloat. Yet the traitors that comprise the renewables investors and the climate-obsessed left in this country, in politics, in big business, in the media, they're hell-bent on destroying our precious coal industry, and they are succeeding. Are Adam Bandt, that new character in the Senate, David Pocock, Chris Bowen, Albanese, and all the squillionaire teals aware that as puny little Australia, with our 1.3% of the world's carbon emissions, as we run around like a headless chook, shutting down all our coal-fired power stations, the rest of the world is getting on with theirs. Germany is in the middle of not only reopening 21 of their coal-fired power stations, but also overnight they did the big U-turn and they've announced that they're going to be opening nuclear power again because of the energy chaos in Europe and around the world. Chaos that has been entirely self-inflicted in the name of saving the planet. And please, can the media stop lying and saying that the European energy crisis is because of the Ukraine war, as Matt Keane repeated again this morning on 2GB. You see, Vladimir Putin only launched the assault on Ukraine because he was confident he had the Europeans by the throat, by the short and curlies when it came to energy, because they had closed down so much of their own fossil fuel industries and are now relying on renewables backed up by Russian gas. Back in 2018, Donald Trump, president then, specifically warned the Germans and the German people precisely what would happen to them under the devil's bargain they had made with the climate cult. And not only did they completely ignore him, they mocked him. Watch closely and you can see these half-wits from Deutschland sniggering at Donald Trump.
Germany will become totally dependent on Russian energy if it does not immediately change course. Here in the Western Hemisphere, we are committed to maintaining our independence from the encroachment of expansionist foreign powers.
Look at them sniggering away there. Well, they're not laughing now. European prices are now skyrocketing, energy prices. Everybody was warned of the danger of relying on Russian gas. Now they are literally paying the price for their chronic stupidity. Household energy bills have been forecast to hit an average, wait for this, of £7,600 a year from next year, according to the latest expert analysis prediction. It's insane. According to European utilities, for Europe as a whole, this implies, wait for it, around 2 trillion euros in energy bills. That's 15% of GDP. Well, you'd think maybe someone in this country would have the intelligence, the foresight, the prescience, or the caution to ensure we do not make exactly the same mistake with our energy market. But no, instead we have clowns like Matt Keane and Chris Bowen telling us to switch to renewables. Way, no nuclear, drive electric cars. Ooh. At the same time, we learn that the big daddy of our renewables, Snowy 2.0, is not only way over budget, the construction firm supposedly building it has no cash. On top of which, according to the Financial Review, the CEO, now the former CEO of Snowy 2.0, resigned the other day. Why? Because he disagreed with Chris Bowen and Matt Keane's grandiose plans for this green hydrogen hub to power the scheme, which we know, an idea which we know is simply ridiculous. Quote, he said in an interview with the ABC, the day after his resignation was announced, Paul Broad ridiculed the idea, and he said, while hydrogen is a wonderful opportunity, it is many, many years away from being commercial. That's what he told the ABC, and he went on, quote, to think you can have hydrogen running into Kurri Kurri when there is no hydrogen being produced in Newcastle just does not make any sense. So let's forget about the snowy hydrogen fantasy. What about electric cars? In a minute, we might road test one. But why are we pretending they are the answer when all we have to do is look across the Pacific? In California, the woke capital of the world, only days after the governor there announced that Californians will be banning the sale of all gas-powered cars by 2035 in order to push electric cars, that a few days later, the electricity grid, the local electricity grid, announced and told Californians to stop charging their electric vehicles from the grid. Avoid charging your electric vehicles, they said over the weekend, because the grid can't cope. As one fed-up driver Californian complained, if we can't do these things today, how are we ever going to do them when everything is supposedly running on renewable electricity? So let's be crystal clear about this. Matt Keane, Chris Bowen, all of Labor, most of the Liberals, all of the Greens and all of the Teals are recklessly ignoring all the warning signs from America and Europe and instead stubbornly taking us down what all the evidence suggests is a path to energy oblivion.